I'm not the bad guy for doing a Fortnite dance in front of my Sunday school pastor. I attend the conservative church. I have been doing the Sunday school there for years. Recently, however, I've been having some issues with our pastor. He's always been kind of uptight, but lately he's been really pushing his views on us and even shaming some of us for not living up to his standards. Last Sunday, during his sermon, he started talking about how he believes that playing video games is a waste of time and how it's a sin to spend too much time on them. He even went so far as to say that anyone who plays Fortnite is supporting the devil and is beyond for hell and is bound for hell. I was really upset by this, as I enjoy playing Fortnite in my spare time. After the service, I went up to the pastor to express my concerns and tell him that I didn't appreciate being judging like that. But when he dismissed my concerns and told me to go outside every once in a while, something inside me snapped. I know I shouldn't have done this, but I have the Fortnite greedy dance in front of him and his wife. I was so angry and upset that it just came out. Now some people in the church are saying that I disrespected the pastor and that I should apologize. So I need your help. Am I the bad guy for doing a Fortnite dance in front of my Sunday school pastor and his wife? Am I the bad guy for embarrassing my partner in front of his family? He says he has never been so embarrassed and called me a bad guy. We was drinking. We were in his niece's birthday party and we were going to his sister's house after to watch the fight. He wanted me to drive him to get more alcohol. However, his son wanted me to drive by his old school for nostalgia. It was more efficient to go to the school first, store. My sister-in-law kept insisting we to go to the store, but I just said nah, let's go school first, then store, and thinking it was a big deal. Well, he flipped out, told me this is why my boss at work doesn't like me, berated me for disrespecting him by not listening to his directions, saying all this in front of his kids, and was just really hostile to the point where I started tearing up, felt like crying. This isn't the first time he has yelled at me for over something minor when his kids were present. When we got to his sister's, I told them to go ahead and go inside, but then I needed to collect myself. But my sister-in-law kept insisting I go in now with them, but I told him no. Then left to drive down the street and calm down. Then drove to the drugstore and get some water and meds for my bad headache, and went back to his sister's. I actually liked everything was fine after that. I act like everything was fine after that. Now he's super mad because he said his family kept making him fun. Now he's super mad because he said his family kept making fun of him when I wasn't there, saying he must have pissed me off or etc. I guess I should have just suck it up and just went inside. And maybe I was overreacting, but I was just really fed up with the way he speaks to me. So, write in the comments below what you think about it. Am I the bad guy for ignoring the calls from my dad's mistress? It was just 2 years ago that me and my mother discovered that my dad had an affair and have a 12-year-old kid from that woman. It was heartbreaking, but my mom can't really divorce my dad because she's been sitting at home mom for years and she's already old and can't really find a job anymore. I'm 23 and have only been working for almost 3 months now. I didn't finish college due to falling in depression after the revelation of the affair, but no one can help me. My mom has her own problem, and I don't want to be financially rely on my cheating father anymore. Besides, I'm an adult now, and as an adult, I suck it up and try to get out of my depression as I look for a job. On into the topic. Dad pays a visit a few days ago. For some reason, my mom still loves him despite all that, so she welcomes him. I work 7 a.m. to 4 p.m., 5 days a week. But since I don't want to engage with that man, I didn't come home till 9 in the evening. I didn't talk to him much. He never said sorry or anything and tries to make simple conversation or asking how was my life. This man have been on and off my life since I was 12, so yeah, I don't really have a bond with him. 9 p.m. He left, but he gave us a few cash. He haven't given anything to us for a year, saying he'll visit again. After he left, and me and my mom ate dinner, I stayed in my room to rest and play with my phone. That's when I noticed I had a few missed calls from someone. I don't recognize the number, so I ignore it. 2 hours pass, and I receive another call from the same number. I don't really give out my phone number. So, and because of the scams it's going on, I never really answer calls from unknown number, except if I'm expecting a call from someone. As expected, I dropped the call and went about my night. Morning came. I checked Facebook for any messages from friends. That's when I found a message from that woman, berating me from not answering my phone. My dad doesn't really have a phone, so no one can really contact him when he goes out, except when he borrows phone from the colleagues. So the woman had been calling me to reach out to my dad, who she knew went to visit us. She was calling me because her son got into an incident and they needed him for help. But since I've been ignoring calls, the boy didn't get treated early because they don't have money to pay for Uber or to the hospital. I don't really care about her, but I'm not a call herder to not feel sorry for the kid. I don't accept him as a brother, but I don't blame him either. I feel so guilty for ignoring the calls. If I only answered the phone, I couldn't have seen my dad early, especially I know that he's not coming back on his apartment when he mentioned he's going out for drinks with his friends. I haven't told this to my mom and can't reach out to my dad or his friend because I don't know which friend he is with and I don't have any contact info of his friends. And also, I want to clarify something about why I don't immediately answer my phone calls in my job status because I read a heated argument here. So I started job hunting on November, get hired and started training on December to January. I started actually working on February and my job forbid us to use our phones, so it was always on my locker. I also don't use them when I commute because I'm afraid it will get stolen, so I only use them at home. Voicemails isn't really that familiar concept here in my country, so people rarely left on when a call didn't get answered, but I do agree that she should have just messaged me in the first place, or not message me at all. It's not my problem. I shouldn't be the one dealing with this in the first place. And also, thank you for the nice people here who have replied and gave advice. So, yeah, I do need therapy. Am I the bad guy for looking down on people with less education? Over the years, I have come to recognize that I have held negative attitudes towards people who have less education than me. I believe that my university degree and my chosen career path made me more intelligent, skilled, and valuable than those who haven't high education. As a result, I sometimes found myself being mean or condescending towards people who I deemed to be less educated or less successful than myself. Looking back, I realized that my behavior was hurtful and also damaging to others, and it was rooted in a sense of elitism that was neither healthy nor productive. I now recognize that education level is not the only measure of intelligence, skill, or value as a person. People without university degree can be just intelligent, skilled, and valuable as those with degrees. There are many successful individuals who have achieved great things without any university education. I also recognize that not everyone has the same opportunities or circumstances that allow them to pursue university education. Factors like financial resources, family responsibilities, and health issues can impact someone's ability to attend university, and it's not fair to judge someone based on something like maybe beyond their control. Reflecting on my past behavior has helped me to challenge and change my negative attitudes towards people with less education. I have made a conscious effort to treat everyone with kindness, empathy, and respect, regardless of being educational background or career path. I now realize that everyone has something valuable to offer, and it's important to be open to learning from others and valuing their perspectives and experiences. It's also important to take responsibility for any harm that may have been caused by my past behavior. I have reached out to people I have hurt in the past and expressed remorse for my behavior. I have also made a commitment to continue challenging my negative attitudes and behavior towards others, and to seek support from a therapist or counselor if needed. In conclusion, recognizing and challenging elitism and negative attitudes towards people with less communication is an important part of becoming a more compassionate and empathic person. It's important to treat everyone with kindness and respect, regardless of their background or education, and to take responsibility for any harm that might have been caused by past behavior. By doing so, we can build more positive and inclusive relationship with others and ultimately lead happier and more fulfilling lives. Am I the bad guy for not lending my parents money? Hello, I'm a female, 18. I didn't come from the wealthiest family, but we're always made do. I recently quit my job and I'm making do with that I have left on my savings before I start new. I pay for my own healthcare, clothes, food, and etc. My mom recently asked me to borrow €100 with the promise of giving it back on Wednesday. I can afford to do this. I won't be able to afford to get to school the whole week or get to my new job since it's out of town. This isn't the first time that I've asked for money, and I've had enough. They owe me hundreds of euros. Neither of my parents are currently speaking to me, calling me selfish for not wanting to help put dinner on the table. I feel guilty, and like I should just lend them the money. So please, guys, help me to decide what to do. Am I the bad guy for not telling my best friend I slept with the guy I'm dating? So, hello, I'm female, 29. I have had this friend, he's male, 34, for almost 5 years now. We met on Tinder, dated for a while, but he told me he was not into me that way and he didn't see me as girlfriend material. It was hard for me to accept it, but eventually I did it, and I got along with it. I really love this guy, like a friend. We have been close friends since that, and I've dated other people, and I ever had a 3-year relationship. He had always a little mad whenever I told him about another guy. But eventually he accepted it since he stated that he didn't want a relationship with me. In all that time, every time either of us was single, we had sex. Anyway, we never talk about not seeing other people or being exclusive, so I met this guy on Tinder a few years ago. And we started going out a couple of months ago, so I mentioned to my best friend about this guy. He was a little mad as usual, but nothing too bad. So my best friend asked me if I was hooking up with the new guy, and I said no, which was true. And he said that if I wanted, we couldn't avoid having sex unless it didn't bother me. I said that it was very recent my thing with the new guy, and I didn't know if it was going to be a serious thing. So unless he left uncomfortable, we could still be having sex. He said he preferred not doing it, and I accepted. So the next weekend after that, I slept with the new guy. I didn't tell to my best friend because I was embarrassed he wouldn't think little of me because of it. A week later, my best friend came to my house. We'd fell asleep together. By 1 a.m., I told him to go home, since he said he didn't want to stay over, and he initiated the sex. Since I had no problem with it, I complied and we did it. Fast forward to yesterday, 1 week after that, he started asking me about the guy, and I finally told him that I slept with him. My best friend got so mad. He even said he wanted to cut all communications with me. I really don't understand why. He told me he did not want anything with me. He said that he would rather not to have sex anymore. Why would he initiate it after that? It makes me sense. So am I the bad guy for not telling my best friend I slept with the guy I'm dating?